In the theatre of our modern existence, actual real-life experiences have just been reduced to intervals between our digital acts. Like a comic relief between the scenes of a Shakespearean tragedy.
Okay, bro. What was your screen time yesterday?
I can't.
Mine was 5 hours 15 minutes. But okay, I was looking for some music for some client who wanted some trendy music, something that's not overused, but something that's vibey and it's trending and it's also like goes with the video. But the funny thing is, every time I went on there to find music, after 2 reels, I forget that I'm here to like find music. I just start scrolling for hours, okay? And then I'm like, shit, I wasted 2 hours just scrolling reels. But yeah, it was 5 hours 15 minutes.
My screen time was, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. My daily average was 8 hours 39 minutes. But oh my god, yesterday was 13 hours 34 minutes. But in my defense, it's still 6% down from last week. So
Okay. How many times did you pick your phone up yesterday?
I think 80 times.
Mine was 68 times. What is your most used app?
I think Instagram or WhatsApp. It's Instagram, yeah.
Do you remember anything in particular that you saw yesterday on Instagram?
I don't know. I was just scrolling through reels. I don't even know who I sent the reels to, but yeah, that's all I did.
What the reels were?
I have no idea.
Ouch. Our generation is so fucked up. We're just casually like, whatever. We spend so much of our time on our screens without like giving a fuck about our actual lives. But okay. People scooped up these tabloids, devoured their gossip, and on previous trips to England, I'd always done the same. But now, for some reason, I found myself thinking about Morrie whenever I read anything silly or mindless. I kept picturing him there, in the house with the Japanese maple and the hardwood floors, counting his breath, squeezing out every moment with his loved ones. While I spent so many hours on things that meant absolutely nothing to me personally. Movie stars, supermodels, the latest noise out of Princess D or Madonna or John F. Kennedy Jr. In a strange way, I envied the quality of Morrie's time even as I lamented its diminishing supply. Why did we bother with all the distractions we did? Back home, the O.J. Simpson's trial was in full swing. They didn't know O.J. Simpson. They didn't know anybody involved in the case. Yet, they gave up days and weeks of their lives, addicted to someone else's drama. Sometimes, I feel like I've made myself numb to my own reality. Always caught up with other people's life, constantly keeping up with what's up with their lives to an extent that I've completely forgotten about my own. I mean, it sure is fun or relatable to see what my friends are up to, but it's completely irrelevant with respect to our own individual lives. Like what somebody had for breakfast or what they did this weekend or how cool that random influencer event was is not important. People spend hours watching cat videos even when they might have one themselves. Why? Why are we willing to give up so much of our lives consuming information that is not even close to necessities? Information that we won't even remember the next day. This mindless consumption should make us pause and think. Throughout the day, we constantly consume hours of content with insane quantities of information, each only lasting about 30 to 60 seconds, which are again completely irrelevant to one another. It's as if we were on this perpetual conveyor belt, constantly moving forward with one piece of information quickly being replaced by the next. The problem with this never-ending consumption of information is that it does not leave us enough time to pause, to reflect, and to process the information to see if it is even useful in the first place. We just take it in, not because we particularly want to know, but because it's there. Niall Postman in his book argues that our obsession with this short and fragmented pieces of information is leading to an extremely passive world. How often are we truly engaged with the reels that we watch throughout the day? We just scrub through them. But when we are consuming content passively, we do not really take time to think about it critically and to form our own opinions about it. This trend is particularly evident in the way that we consume news. In the past, we used to get our news from newspapers or magazines, which made us read and think about the events of the day. But now we get our news from television or the internet, which are much more of a passive medium, where we can just sit back, watch or listen to the news without having to do any work ourselves. Researchers at University of Pittsburgh found that people who used social media more frequently are much more likely to believe false information. Now, this is because social media platforms are designed in a way to keep us hooked, even if that means showing false and inaccurate information. But it is also because we barely take the time out to look at the context or the consequence of what is it that is being said. We are just so eager to go on to the next one. This shift towards passive entertainment has hampered our ability to think about things critically, and a decline in critical thinking is a serious problem, as that would lead to people making poor decisions and them being easily manipulated. Now, the problem is not restricted to watching mindless, half-headed videos or watching random strangers dance in the middle of your day. I'd like to believe it's a bit broader than that. According to Marshall McLuhan, the effects of technology do not occur at the level of opinions or concepts. Rather, they alter patterns of perception steadily and without any resistance. We'd like to believe that it's the stupid videos that we watch on TikTok or Instagram that is the problem. But medium is the message here. A medium's content matter less than the medium itself in influencing how we think and act. As our window onto the world and onto ourselves, a popular medium molds what we see and how we see it, and eventually, if we use it enough, it changes who we are as individuals and as a society. For example, we no longer consume content to be entertained. We have started using it more like an escape from every minor little inconvenience that we might have in our day-to-day. Every time we don't know what to do, we just take our phones out and start scrolling. That is a serious problem. We have started living in echo chambers where we are only exposed to things that are already known and familiar, reinforcing them. It has hampered our creativity because, again, personalization filters only show things that are relevant to us, but creativity is often sparked with collusion of ideas from two different disciplines. Combine an understanding of cooking and physics and you get a non-stick pan or an induction stovetop. But if Amazon thinks that I'm only interested in cookbooks, it is not very likely to recommend me books on metallurgy. It's not just the serendipity that's at risk. A world constructed with familiar is a world where there's nothing to learn. Overall, excessive use of social media and the consequences related to it is a little scary after the books and things that I've read in order to make this video. And what I've come to realize is that it's not just our minds being affected, it is affecting our lives. It is somewhere pivoting us to a life that isn't fully lived. Because we might look back at our days as one big blur. We might not really recall doing anything other than just sitting on the couch and scrolling our days away. So I guess the question remains, are we willing to trade our precious moments of depth and connection for the fleeting distractions of a screen-dominated existence? Think about it before you click on the next video.
Screen time? No way. Shit. It's showing 8 hours 19 minutes.